Alô? Porra, bicho. Ah, não, tá aí já. Pronto, bora lá. Puxa o botão, logotipo. Deixa um pouquinho esse volume aqui. Eu não gosto de jogo alto, não. Na verdade, eu mexo aqui no foda aqui tá alto demais. Aí. Vou botar pra cá. Pronto.
Easy, boy.
Don't I know you, sir?
Don't believe so. I haven't been here in many years. Name's Silas Greaves.
Silas Greaves? The bounty hunter?
Used to be.
Ah, what are you doing here in Abilene?
Just passing through. Got a little business to take care of.
Well, sir, it would be an honor if you would allow me to buy you a beer.
Hell, son, it would be my honor to drink it.
I'm Molly. Howdy.
I'm Dwight. That's Jack and Steve. Ben's behind the bar. Oh, I bet you got some great stories.
A couple.
Any of them true?
Jack, be nice.
A few.
What about your shootout with Henry Plummer's gang in Bannock, Montana? Is that where you started as a bounty hunter? That's what it says in this here dime novel.
Don't believe everything you read in them dime novels, boy. First man I hunted was back when I was riding with Billy the Kid.
You knew Billy the Kid?
Damn right. That scrawny son of a bitch had no fear. Wouldn't back down for nobody.
I heard he collected the 10 stars off any crooked lawmen who crossed him.
It was a war, boy. The Lincoln County War. And Billy promised his regulators would take the life of every bastard who helped bushwhack John Tunstall.
Kid had a big chip on his shoulder and a hair-trigger temper. Made him dangerous as hell. It was about 30 years ago. Billy was hiding out in an abandoned farm near Stinking Springs. I threw in with the kid because the man I had sworn vengeance on was riding with Billy's enemies. But before I tell you why I want that sumbitch dead, let me tell you what happened that day. I was heading back to the hideout when suddenly I had this funny feeling.
Funny, haha?
No, Steve. The other kind of funny.
Stay here to keep an eye on the road.
That's not fair. We're missing all the fun.
I knew those two morons would never let me through. I had no choice.
Was it Pat Garrett's posse?
Oh, yeah. I heard the shots and I knew I had to move fast. Garrett and his army of deputies had surrounded the entire homestead. I decided to help Billy and the boys out a bit. So that's just what I did. As the governor of New Mexico was paying for the kid's apprehension, Garrett was able to hire every gun hand in Lincoln County. I knew that going through that front door meant putting my butt in a shooting gallery, so I decided to get sneaky. Garrett's men were running around like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off.
Some bitch is running.
Still, one of them reached the water tower. Not a bad idea. It would be a turkey shoot from up there. Luckily, these shooters Garrett hired weren't the sharpest tools in the shed. The right position is very important. Personally, I prefer to be on top.
Oh, you do, do you?
Indeed, darling. But where was I? Oh, yeah.
Eita, eu não... Opa, eu acho que eu dei mais demais agora.
Where'd he come from? You think you can kill me too?
A lot of them were saddle tramps or sod busters or drunken drifters looking to make a few bucks. Then, I heard a friendly voice yelling at me from the window. Back door! We'll cover you! Truth be told, things weren't much better behind the house. I cut their numbers in half, but that just made the ones that were left twice as mad. They made up for their lack of skill with a seemingly endless supply of ammo. It was a bit of a slog, but I finally fought my way around the back of the house. And like that, I was inside, none the worse for wear. I passed Dirty Dave.
Hey, my boy.
Better than a rat in a
Yeah,
truck.
my boy.
And upstairs, I found Billy and Charlie Beaudry. Me and said, "About time, amigo! Grab a gun and get to the window."
Wait, so you were friends with Billy the Kid?
Yeah, sort of. Anyway, we were surrounded by dozens of deputized shooters who wanted to do us harm. I'm telling you, Garrett's men were dropping like flies, but they just kept on coming.
Where the hell Garrett get to? He's missing all the action.
That's when Charlie got hit. "They're catching us in a crossfire," shouted Billy. Get to the other side!
Where'd he go?
I don't know how many of those cocksuckers I personally put down, but it was pretty clear, even to Billy, that maybe discretion was the better part of valor.
What's that mean?
It means that it was time to cut and run. They got a Gatlin, Billy shouted. Get the horses and bring them round back. I'll draw their attention. He directed that order at me, and I thought, why the hell do I have to do it? But I went anyway. Dumbass that I was back then.
Bitches are done.
Many would have fled in my place. But I had that false sense of invincibility that many young men have. Like Jack here.
What are you saying, old man?
Jack is just joshing with you now.
Yeah, he better be.
Mr. Greaves, please continue.
Please, call me Silas, ma'am. Now, where was I?
You were heading for the barn.
Got you like a fish.
Right. Making my way past a passel of fallen foes.
Sounds like Garrett hired a whole regiment of hired guns.
Yeah, and just when I thought I was done with them, more of these hapless bastards would pop up. Finally, I had the stables within my reach. And that's when I met Sheriff Pat Garrett.
I read that you went toe-to-toe with him, sir. That backstabbing bastard with that tacked-on tin star. You challenged him to a showdown.
You read that in a dime novel?
It said he showed no fear as he took your measure with eyes like a rattlesnake. killed him in a fair fight.
Is that what that Penny Dreadful said? No, boy. That ain't what I meant when I said I met Pat Garrett. So let me start again. I finally reached those damn stables. After the fight, maybe we could treat ourselves to some fried chicken. And stepped inside, and BAM! Last thing I heard was Garrett's voice. That's not Billy.
And go on, how did it end?
And, boy, that was just the beginning.
So what happened? Did Garrett arrest you?
Yeah, after I came to, the bastard had clocked me with his Colt.
And the kid surrendered?
When he realized there was no getting out of there alive.
So they locked you up in Lincoln?
Indeed they did. Sentenced me to hang right along with the kid.
Meu Deus do céu, essa porra desse fone caindo, pelo amor de Deus. Aí. Oxi.
It's important to know that I was only riding with Billy so I could find the bastard I was after. He was with John Kinney's gang, and they were sworn enemies of Billy's regulators.
Why were you after him?
I owed that son of a bitch a bullet for what he had done to me and mine. Instead, all I got for myself was a goddamn death sentence. Luckily, it was right around then that I heard Billy make his move. He shot Jim Bell and a few other guards as he made his getaway. Later, they wrote that some lady friend planted a pistol for him in the privy.
Botar aqui. E aí, agora tá dormindo agora melhor? Vou pouco. Pronto, acho que tá suave agora. Alô, alô. Alô, alô. Alô, alô. Alô, alô, alô. Aí, melhorou.
What the papers didn't say is that Billy helped me escape too. My first order of business was finding a firearm. Luckily, I located Deputy Bob Ollinger's
Marvada.
mean-ass shotgun.
Logo, meu filho, a bicha é marvada de longe. Marvada, muito marvada. Essa porra ainda tá alta, doido, pelo amor de Deus, espera aí.
I saw Billy through the window, and he yelled that I should take to the rooftops to make my escape. So I did.
Quero saber essa merda agora. Vou botar aqui. Acho que aqui tá mais suave. E aí, tá melhor? Tá.
was like a double-barreled howitzer.
Eita, Josh. Beleza. Foi nessa.
Hell yeah. That scatter gun was like a double-barreled howitzer. It could blow a man clear off his feet. You hardly had to aim for that.
Ai.
The kids escaped raised a huge ruckus. Guards were everywhere looking for him.
Get away.
Cadê?
I had to jump from roof to roof like a damn alley cat. I followed the planks where I could, but... Oh!
Não era por aí não? Oxe, por onde era? Agora eu vi onde eu vacilei. Não, porra. Foi não, porra. Onde é que eu tô?
So that bastard you were after, what did he do?
He did me and my family a grievous harm. But I knew if I was ever gonna find him, I would need to get my ever-loving ass out of there. I tried to be stealthy and sneak my way past. But hell, if they weren't all waiting for me. Apparently, some of them thought I was Billy. See, me and the kid shared a certain similarity in build and coloring. I was just glad I had Deputy Bob's mean-ass shotgun.
Essas horas aqui que os caras se escondem, eu não consigo ver eles ali. Ai.
So much lead was whizzing by my head, it was like everyone in Lincoln wanted to put me in the ground. I knew I needed to find a horse. Though I never did have a great fondness for those four-legged grass eaters. Smelly, sweaty, ungrateful beasts.
Não, Gi. Eu tenho que gastar 2 balas, porque senão ele manda pra casa do caralho.
But where was the kid while you were busy getting shot at?
Gone. And that's when it occurred to me why Billy set me free. So I could be a hapless decoy and draw attention while he snuck out of town.
Cadê?
I knew if I made it out of there in one piece, no one would put a price on my head.
Because everybody in Lincoln would be dead?
No, because they all thought I was Billy. And all that blame would fall on him. Meanwhile, Deputy Bob Oliver was organizing a posse to put me down. He was already a mean son of a bitch, but he was doubly pissed that I stole his mean-ass shotgun. Anyway, it was me or them, and the only way forward led me straight to perdition. But the cards were dealt, and I had no choice but to play them.
Tem mais ainda? Cadê? Não, se for pra cá eu não vou agora não. Porque, porra. Esse jogo tem esses inimigos aqui escondidos, né, doido? Vai, Bernie, mostra a cara logo. Onde aqui? Where's you, bitch?
Surrender yourself!
Ai. Cadê esses caras? Eu tô raiva por causa disso, velho. Oxi. Esse barulho é como se alguém estivesse andando do meu lado. Me dá bala, jogo. Qual foi? Ai. Ai, moral. Tá, agora no... Os caras mortos, tô afim de bala, pô. Tô sem bala. Ah, pai, cadê esse... Bora, filho de uma quenga. Mostra a cara. Olha. Fudeu.
Finally, I found what I was looking for. The stables on the edge of town.
I guess Billy saved
No, no,
your
no,
ass,
no, no, no,
taking
no,
out
no,
Bob
no, no,
Ollinger
no,
the
no,
way
no.
he did.
Billy didn't kill Bob.
Sure he did. Dispatched him right after he shot Deputy Bell.
No, sir. Because Bob came right up behind me, angry as hell that Billy had lit out. Hello, Bob, I said. I think you better let me go. And he says, I don't think so, boy. Not with my shotgun. So we stood there in the middle of the street, eyeball to eyeball. He intended to kill me, and I knew I had no choice but to defend myself.
Dei mole. Dei mole. Dei mole. Não é que eu peguei essa merda primeiro.
I killed him in a fair fight. Everybody saw I had no damn choice. Well, Lincoln got a mite depopulated that day. Pat Garrett gunned down Billy 3 months later, so his escape was all for naught anyway.
So where'd you go after Lincoln?
Mexico. Until I realized nobody was looking for me. I ended up taking a job at the Rurales.
The Mexican Rurales?
I was hired to help them track down the cowboys.
The most vicious outlaw gang in Cochise County? Curly Bill Brocious? Johnny Ringo?
Led by old man Clanton himself.
They must have paid you a pretty penny to take them hombres on.
Not really. But truth be told, I had my own reasons for
Esse
going
velho é
after
valente
those
demais,
boys.
bicho. Ó, o velho do diabo, as histórias que esse infeliz fala. Uma bala pro velho, White. Desculpa, ah, foda-se. Não vou meter bala.
So was the bastard you were after now riding with the cowboys?
Roscoe Bob Bryant was his name.
Oh.
But no, this time it was a different bastard I was after. The aforementioned Mr. Ringo.
Não interrompa sua sequência de assassinatos tão cedo. Seu medidor de combo fica ativo. Sequência melhor de combo. Tem muita capacidade de munição de revólver. Carrega ainda mais munição de revólver. Ai, daqui é uma delícia, hein? Não perca nenhum detalhe importante, são as dicas adicionais. Daqui eu não botei nenhuma. Resistência ao combate a queima-roupa. Você não pode ser a prova de balas, mas pode ser mais resistente. Em meio de todo quadro, para ficar.
And yes, he was working for Old Man Clown. I came upon them robbing a stagecoach, which wasn't surprising, being they were such murderous thieves and bastards. The bandits wore red scarves, so I knew they worked for the old man.
Ixi, vou trabalhar para aquele arrombado, filho. Toma bala na cabeça.
I did my best to help those poor passengers. Moments later, the attackers were dead, and I checked the stagecoach to see how many passengers were still breathing. It was then I wondered if the rocks weren't hiding more bandits. Was that all of them? Or did I just hit the rear guard? I quickly got my answer. They attacked from on high like Apaches often did. They would appear in great numbers from above and rain down lead on their hapless enemies' heads, making use of the high ground and whatever else they had. Yep, the Apaches always appeared out of nowhere, and there never seemed to be an end to it.
Porra.
Were you attacked by Apaches? What happened to the cowboys?
Did I say they were Apaches? I said Clanton's cowboys attacked me Apache style. I was in a pitched battle, but I was holding my own against an overwhelming enemy force. See, at the time, I was still pretty green, but often blunder into regrettable
O
situations.
velho mentiroso, então, viu? E eu botando fé que isso era
But I
valente,
just kept
saudável.
shooting at anything I could see up in those
Eu depois ficar
damn
mentindo nas histórias dele.
I didn't see Ringo, but I knew he was with the cowboys. He and Roscoe Bob had done me a dreadful wrong.
Toma
I was
balista.
determined to have my revenge.
Cadê esses caras? Cadê esses caras? Cadê esses caras? Cadê esses caras?
I knew I'd have to fight my way past these other assholes first.
Foi só aquele arrombado que eu não tava vendo, pelo amor de Deus,
I
Deus.
was running out of ammo. Another perfect example of my relative inexperience as a hunter of men. I immediately knew that a tactical retreat was called for, as my vengeful fury was much less impressive without the bullets to back it up. Finally, they managed to corner me. Trapped as I was, the odds of my survival seemed pretty
Rapaz, eu vou
slim.
morrer. Eu vou morrer.
Luckily, serendipity was on my side as I suddenly spotted a way out of my predicament.
A pedra se mexendo, a pedra se mexendo. Ah, velho, mentiroso do diabo. Velho aqui gosta de mentir, viu, bicho?
I ran ahead as if the devil himself was after me. Bullets were whizzing by my ears, but I wasn't about to roll over and die. I just kept running like there was no tomorrow. Because there wouldn't be if Clanton and his men caught up with me.
Eu vou meter meu pé, fi.
As I was scurrying around those caves, I thought,
Tô dando fora
what
daqui,
was
tá
I
ligado,
thinking?
meu irmão?
Going up against a gang like this.
Daí agora, onde é que eu vou?
I just kept running, not knowing where the hell I was going. And that's when something miraculous happened. Like manna from heaven, I found the desiccated remains of what looked like an Apache warrior. The old weapon next to him supplied me with some much-needed
Ah, véi,
ammunition.
mentiroso.
Bat Masterson once told me it was more important to be lucky than good, and he would know.
De onde foi que veio esse infeliz aqui?
And imagine my surprise when I found a fistful of dynamite to go along with that ammo.
Ah, véi, mentiu.
That
Nossa,
stroke
ai,
of good
mentir na casa do
fortune
caralho,
evened the
velho.
odds and bolstered my confidence. It was time to turn the tables. Time for the prey to become the predator.
Ai, mentir no inferno, velho.
Time for the hunted to become the hunter. Time.
All right, Jesus, we get it. They were right where you wanted them.
That's right, Teddy. I was done running. And the old man's boys were not expecting that. No, sir. I came at them like a wildcat. My fury knew no bounds.
Tá vendo que tá todo mundo morrendo, menino. Vocês vão ser pra... Ai,
It was finally time for that old man to pay for his sins.
pagar pelas mentiras que anda contando, né, velho? Tadinho, briguento. Ruim pra diabo. Que só o diabo esse menino aí.
I yelled out at the top of my lungs, Clanton, I'm coming for you! A little stealth might have made more sense, to be perfectly honest. Because that old fool had a Gatling gun and enough bullets to last him till kingdom come. Oh! But I knew I could not let that deter me.
Fudeu.
Not if I was to find and kill Ringo. I needed to get that old man off that gun.
Tá, onde é que eu vou? Era pra eu ter ido por lá. Dei mole. Vou ter que correr aqui agora, porque claramente é... Ah, deu bom. Deu bom, botei fé não. Cala a boca. Sobreviver sendo bom, coisa que tu não é. Será que tem que ir pra lá? Isso. Tem que atacar ele agora não? O que eu tenho que fazer? Eu não. O que eu tenho que fazer, porra? Agora eu não sei o que fazer aqui. Não, tem que mais. Quero pular. É.
Most everyone thought it was the Ruales who had come up against him in Guadalupe Canyon, but it was just me.
Como que eu vou matar esse cara? Descobri. Chato. Como é que eu acertei bala ali naquela hora? Agora acertei de novo, olha. Que sorte da hora que eu acerto essa merda. Oxi, porra é essa? Porra é essa? Tô ficando puto já. Por que esses caras querem que eu mate esse arrombado, velho? Isso não dá. A mira tá em cima dele e não dá dano. Deixa esse cara me matar. Me mata, pai. Tem que perder essa merda. Oxi. Negócio chato do caralho, porra. Pelo amor de Deus, não.
Most everyone thought it was the Ruales who had come up against him in Guadalupe Canyon, but it was just me.
Ai. Shut the fuck up, you fat bitch. Como é que eu tiro vida desse cara? Pelo amor de Deus, jogo. Jogo, me explica, jogo. É sortido às vezes que fica vermelho o bagulho. O que você tá fazendo inteiro? Esse jogo tá brincando com minha cara. Lá, ficou vermelho, pelo amor de Deus. Olha. Olha. Qual foi o jogo? Qual foi? Esse velho vai morrer com uma bala, mas não acerta essa bala. Olha! Tá. Vamos lá. Tá vendo isso aí? Tu viu isso aí?
Apparently, one of the cowboys made it out of there alive and told Ike and Billy Clanton that it wasn't a Mexican who took their father's life that day. They just assumed it was one of the Earps. And that little misunderstanding eventually led to that legendary gunfight at the OK Corral.
Veio do cão pra mentir. Será? Vou jogar um pouquinho de teclado e mouse. Bora ver se tem alguma diferença.
A few weeks after that dust up at the OK Corral, I was still after Johnny Ringo.
Nossa.
I had tracked him and the cowboys to their hideout at a sawmill, and they were
Controle
loaded
mesmo,
for
vocês
bear.
viram como é que estão. Tem como controlar assim não. Aí ó, assim tá melhor.
So, what exactly did Johnny Ringo do to piss you off?
Well, him and that other bastard.
Roscoe Bob Bright?
Yep. They both deserve to die, and I promise I'll tell you why.
Qual
First,
mentira
I
que tu
need
vai
to tell you
inventar,
about
hein,
the
infeliz?
Cowboys' new boss, Curly Bill Brocious.
Herb's coming!
Get ready, boys. Curly Bill took charge of the Cowboys upon the old man's demise, and after that gunfight at the OK Corral, the Clantons wanted revenge.
Ah, claro.
So they murdered Morgan Earp and grievously wounded his older brother, Virgil.
Minha merda. Ai!
Wyatt and Doc went on what became known as the Vendetta Ride, hunting those outlaws down. So when I showed up, that's who they thought I was.
Tô gastando bala da arma ali, ó. Trouxa. Munição de rifle, boa. Munição de pistola. Boa.
There were killers around every corner, all wearing red bandanas. That's how the cowboys identified each other. And I was beginning to wish I had one myself. I wasn't about to let Ringo walk away unscathed, and that's what drove me forward.
Como é que aquele cara não morreu no foco, doido? Pelo amor de Deus.
I hardly saw anyone faster, boy. Certainly not Wyatt Earp. That man was all hat and no cap.
Hat, no cap. Peguei essa daí, viu? Ai, 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 ai.
Earp wasn't much of a match for him, but Doc Holliday might have taken him.
That Lunger should have kept his nose out of it. They never charged anyone for the murder of Morgan Earp.
But everybody knew that Curly shot him in the back. That was common knowledge.
Yeah, maybe so. But Ringo had nothing to do with it. He was just being loyal to a friend.
Is that what you call it? Being loyal? Well, to get to that loyal friend, I had to pass by some buzzsaws as big as a man.
Não, pistola é muito boa. Eu aqui não caio no conto do vigário, meu patrão.
Excuse me, sir. I have a question.
What's that, Dwight?
After old man Clanton died, why didn't his son take over the Cowboys?
Because Ike Clanton was dumber than a box of rocks and a yellow belly to boot.
Mais louco que uma porta, meu filho. Ele e uma porta não tem diferença nenhuma.
Now, where was I?
Taking down the entire cowboy gang single-handed.
Indeed I was, Jack.
Porra, de novo.
Though it wasn't easy, as those boys had good cover.
Tá, como é que eu vou pra lá? Deixa eu ver que tem item lá. Ai! Cadê? Cadê? É, deixa assim.
There were carts everywhere, piles of lumber, and God knows what else for people to hide behind. That really was one hell of a sawmill. Quite an impressive operation.
Com os maiores durante a concentração, seja ainda mais eficiente se concentrar durante a concentração, multiplicador de como será 2 níveis de cada inimigo morto durante o sucesso. A capacidade de munição de espingarda e dinamite. Carregue ainda mais munição de espingarda e explosivos. Leve com você 3 cartuchos de espingarda e 3 bônus de dinamite a mais. Varredor. Foda-se. De capacidade de munição de revólver. Carregue ainda mais munição de revólver. Não interrompa sua sequência de assassinatos tão cedo. Ser um editor de combo fica ativo um tempo 50% maior. O foda é que sair de concentração não... Aumenta a capacidade de munição de rifle. Carrega ainda mais munição de rifle com vocês. Oferece de que você... Foda que uma hora ou outra eu vou ter que comprar aquela merda.
And where was Curly Bill? Did you see him?
I'm about to get to that, Ben. Patience.
Tome.
I'm painting a picture here. There was this beautiful waterfall and a crystal clear stream that led to a verdant valley that was truly...
Consider your picture painted. What happened next?
Well, finally the bastards that were still alive made a last stand.
Nossa, o tamanho de campo de batalha aqui. Tem que matar muita gente.
Curly Bill, Johnny Ringo, and his compadres took off into the lumber yard, and I followed after.
Tá de bala ali agora. Curly Bill.
Are you saying they ran? Cowardice was not in Ringo nor Curly Bill's nature.
No, sir. I never said they were running scared. They just wanted me out in the open.
Maluco, meu chefe. Sou um doido de caramba.
working for Wyatt Earp. Did that sumbitch Earp send you to kill me?
Corre. Ai, caralho, por que eu tenho... Não tá, né? Vamos lá. Basta eu estar enfrentando esse gigante sozinho. Porque capanga do cara vai matar também. Vem aqui. Cadê? Shut up. Nossa, arrombado. Corre!
Just gave me no choice but to take his life. But Ringo was nowhere to be found.
I knew you didn't kill Ringo, because he was found dead in a different location altogether.
Ah, os caras
To
estão
this
descobrindo que vai
day,
estar
his killer
mentindo.
is still unknown.
Indeed. Took me a few months before I finally tracked his ass to West Turkey Creek Canyon.
Ah, estão descobrindo, velho do cão aí. Ai, mentira, inferno, infeliz. O próximo do comando aí na conta. Ô, porra.
That's incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
Sorry I had to ruin the legend for you, boy. But the legend ain't always true. Doc Holliday had nothing to do with the death of Johnny Ringo. I was paid a healthy bounty for Ringo and Curly Bill, and realized there was real money to be made. That's why I went after Henry Plummer.
Wasn't he the sheriff who augmented his income by shaking down miners and robbing gold shipments?
That's the one.
Oh, yeah, I remember him. He ran that gang of thieving outlaws called the Innocents.
So it's true that you went toe-to-toe with him?
Indeed I did, son. Indeed I did.
Porra. Apareceu aqui. Oh, merda. tirar.
I knew I needed resources if I was going to track down Roscoe Bob Bryant. And hunting Plummer looked like a good way to get rich quick. As the local vigilantes exposed him as the leader of the bandits and put a generous price on his head. Plummer rallied his gang to plunder one last gold mine before making their escape, and that's where I thought I'd find him.
Why would you? No one has the clothes to cook.
He's up there on the rocks with that rifle of his.
As my late father pointed out to me more than once, God made men, but Samuel Colt made them equal. I knew that dynamite wasn't mine, so I decided the polite thing would be to return it.
Damn.
It was the biggest gold rush since Sutter's Mill in '48. Unfortunately, prospectors weren't the only ones drawn to those riches. There were thieves and killers, robbing travelers and hijacking gold shipments. Like those that ran with Plummer. Some were just regular folks I knew from town, drawn by greed and easy pickings. Charlie Crow, the blacksmith. James, who worked in the stable. Sam and Jeremiah Barber, the butcher's sons. Ordinary citizens who lived a double life. Stealing and thieving and murdering their neighbors.
Não vi como eu morri aí, não.
Of course, the rest were veterans of the Civil War. Stone-cold killers trained on the bloody fields of Shiloh and Antietam. Plummer had a lot of men on his payroll. A hell of a lot. That son of a bitch pretended to protect the public with one hand while stealing and blind with the other. He set up a defensive perimeter which I had no idea how to breach. Dangerous, desperate individuals. I was outnumbered and in way over my head, but I was too damn stubborn and stupid to realize it. They must have thought I was touched. Or had some kind of death wish, seeing as there were barrels of gunpowder everywhere. One stray bullet, One stray spark and I'd be blown to hell and gone. Did I have any second thoughts about what I was doing? No.
Puta.
I thought I was some kind of hero. I finally made it past and headed on to meet my destiny. But first, I had something I needed to figure out. I had a few ideas on how to get into that mine, but once I made my decision, I knew there was no turning back. So my first thought was to enter the nearest mine portal. I saw an entrance. Made sense. It was the quickest way in, but that also made it more dangerous, as there would undoubtedly be enemy pickets posted along the way. Besides, once you enter a mine like that, it's easy to get all turned around. And that confusing maze of corridors wouldn't even be the worst of it. Some of those shafts could be as deep as hell. A single stumble or misstep can easily end in a deadly plunge to oblivion.
I got this.
Cadê? Cadê o cara?
Quick reflexes often make up for a lack of common sense. Luckily, I was never one to be easily bushwhacked.
Eu vi aquele bagulho em cima de mim já. Quickly reflex.
I would just need to be careful not to blow myself to Kingdom Come.
Deliverance.
With all that gunpowder and dynamite everywhere, a body has to know what he's shooting at.
Show yourself, coward.
Meu amigo.
One wrong bullet could have turned that mine into a dad-blasted tomb.
Era pra ter desviado, eu esqueci. Estão bonitos da primeira.
One wrong bullet could have turned that mine into a dad-blasted tomb.
Eu tenho que atirar também? Não entendi ainda não.
One wrong bullet could have turned that mine into a dad-blasted tomb. I freely admit that my plan of attack was not just moronic, but clearly insane.
Damn.
It's a good thing that I abandoned that ridiculous plan before I even tried it.
Ah, eu não entendi.
Instead, I spotted a ladder, a way into the mine from the opposite side. It was a long way around, but that approach seemed more sensible at the time. Of course, being I had a problem with heights, that scaffolding scared the bejesus out of me. Climbing down that ladder required some caution. Because even though I had a younger man's reflexes, no man can dodge a damn bullet while climbing down a rickety ladder. I needed to make a leap of faith. I was determined not to give up, however.
Ai, tomando cu o jogo.
That Sheriff Plummer seemed quite the despicable character. When the vigilantes discovered what the sheriff was up to, people were outraged. That 10,000 they put on his head would go a long way to helping me find old Bob. And I had made it my mission to settle that score come hell or high water.
Ai.
But first, I would have to make a choice. Take the elevator or climb the ladder.
Eu quero jogar o Gun. Só que o Gun eu acho que eu vou jogar em teclado e mouse, porque o controle é meio...
I wanted to use the element of surprise. Plus, I figured I could use the exercise. I was warmed up already, so what the hell?
Sempre em movimento, recarrega enquanto corre. Opa! Aqui é útil pra caralho, filho. Esse jogo tá fazendo eu acreditar que é útil, por causa que nesse instante eu precisei. Aí agora.
Plummer was a mad dog killer, and the people of Nevada City deserved better.
Nevada City? Well, I thought Plummer met his maker in Bannock, Montana.
Tentei meter bala no bagulho lá em cima. Qual o sentido, porra? Qual o sentido?
Right, well, he was the sheriff of both places at one time or another, but that's neither here nor there.
Ai! Ai!
The point was, taking him down would save a lot of lives, including my own.
Esse cara toma esse dano quando...
This day is...
Henry Plummer was clearly unhinged, and I could see right away that this was gonna take some doing.
Que esse arrombado. Bom. Oxi, 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 oxi. Pegar checkpoint da segunda fase dele seria bom, viu? Ah, pegou. Se abaixa.
Die like this!
Demora pra arrebentar. Ai, ai. Beleza. Então tá, né?
They're gonna bury you in a million pieces! They're gonna need a dustpan to pick you up! Why don't you I can shoot too!
Oxi. Jogo maldito.
So that's how Henry Plummer died.
Que demorou mais
Him and
coisa
his
daqui,
crew were
viu?
worth their weight
Pelo
in
amor de
gold.
Deus.
And now, I was officially...
Perdi o diálogo do velho. Nada não.
So, did you finally go after that Bob feller?
Well, I heard word he was in Kansas with John Wesley Hardin. So that's where I went.
Where in Kansas?
Abilene. Why do you ask, Ben?
No reason.
Was Hardin as fast as Ringo?
Ringo was fast, but John Wesley was as fast as the devil himself.
Ligeiro que só o diabo.
Hell, he killed his first man at 15. From that day forward, he had a price on his head and wouldn't back down for nobody. Not even Wild Bill Hickok himself.
Bill Hiccup. Lembro só do pica-pau com aquele Wild Bill Hiccup. É, agora vai ficar um pouquinho nessa tela de loading aí que eu vou mandar o bolas. aproveitar e buscar uma água. Mas tem como eu pausar essa porra aqui? Se tiver como pausar, que eu não lembro. Atalhos de teclado. Pausar a gravação é o 8. E continuar a gravação é o 5. Então vamos lá. Eu dei uma pausada aqui, então na hora que eu voltar já vou estar com água e baseado bolado. Então lá. Oh meu Deus do céu, a porra do a porra do controle parou de funcionar. Eu fui ligar o controle. Aí na hora que eu liguei o controle deu continuar a porra do jogo, mas na hora que abriu o primeiro frame eu pausei logo. Então volto já. Vou botar aqui os fones. A aguinha tá aqui do lado. E baseado no bico. Controle na mão. Dá um golinho d'água, bora lá. Baseado no bico. Aceso. E gameplay.
I was there with the intention of finding that bastard Bob and collecting the bounty on John Wesley.
Porra, o fone tá. O fio do fone tá aqui na frente do controle. Não é arma que eu uso normalmente não, é? Cadê? Não tá colar. Você pra não ter. Ó, acendendo ali, que porra é aquela? Tiro rápido.
I thought the Texas Rangers got hardened.
Yeah, that's what they want you to believe. It was Colden, a witch's tit, and a brass bra that night as I fought my way past his loyal compadres. Very same saloon we're sitting in today. Look around and imagine this place painted in blood. Hardin was waiting for me, and...
Ó, o bigode infeliz.
Wait, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me back up. Don't you think so,
Ah,
Ben?
que eu perdi?
John Wesley Hardin was a killer.
Ah,
By the end, he confessed to taking the lives of
perdi.
42 men, fathers and husbands,
Tem que definir logo a
brothers and
porra do volume
sons,
certo
men
dessa
with
merda.
families who cared about them. He was a bona fide folk hero by then, and had amassed a gang of armed miscreants and other assorted thugs. He and his men set up camp outside of town, and I was hoping Bob was among them. They didn't ask why I was there. They knew. As most of them were wanted as well. I figured Hardin was here somewhere, but to get to him, I'd have to get past his gun hands. I had to spill a lot of blood to find out Hardin wasn't in that camp. He was carousing in town with his closest friends. Hardin's boys apparently didn't want me to reach the Bull's Head. Some were hightailing it into town to inform their jefe of my unwelcomed presence.
Cadê? Quase não pega a porra do tiro no NPC, oxi.
I wondered if Bob was among them.
Eu não vi o que tem de item pra cá não. Foda-se demais.
And I steeled myself for the fight ahead. For as good as I was, deep down I wondered if John Wesley wasn't just a little bit better. Before I could test my mettle against Hardin, however, I would first need to dispatch his cadre of hired killers.
Ai, ai.
Most of these degenerates were beyond redemption, but John Wesley might have been a different story.
Vai lá, né? Qual é agora? Caralho. Pica. Pica. Pica demais.
I didn't learn until later that that night was in fact his birthday celebration.
eu ver bem aqui uma coisa. É. Essa placa de vídeo tá chorando demais, viu? E olha que é porra de uma placa boa, doido. No jogo de geração de PS3. Tá dando esse trabalho todo. Eu tomara que não esteja dando ruim no vídeo. Pelo menos não no vídeo.
You think you can kill me?
I think I already mentioned that I found Hardin in this very saloon. Suffice it to say, nobody there was happy to see me. In fact, I felt a certain hostility. I was disappointed that neither Bob nor John Wesley were among the dead. But that was short-lived, as a moment later I was facing down the fastest gun in the West.
Cara a cara, se for cara a cara é suave.
I felt a bolt of adrenaline. Or maybe that was fear. He was well known for his tricks, and I knew I'd need my own if I was ever to defeat him. No, wait! He didn't hit me then. I'm sure of it.
Parece que é uma história interativa de acordo com o que acontece. Não entendi ainda não. Tô ficando de saco cheio já disso aqui, doido. Porra é essa? Entendi errado mesmo.
I felt a bolt of adrenaline. Or maybe that was fear. He was well known for his tricks, and I knew I'd need my own if I was ever to defeat him. No, wait. He didn't hit me then. I'm sure of it.
Agora que eu entendi que é pra esquivar. Agora eu entendi.
That man was faster than greased lightning. But being inebriated as he was, he didn't count his shots. And now, he was at my mercy.
So he didn't die?
No, I sent him to prison. Years later, after he was free, some restless Avenger took his life. Shot him in the back in a saloon just like this one. Anybody up for another beer? Ben? Thank you, darling. Yeah, some say revenge is a dish best served cold.
So whatever happened to that Bob?
Isso daí
guy
parece
you were
Leonardo
after?
DiCaprio.
Personally, I'd like to hear some of your other adventures. Like, I don't know, did you ever go toe-to-toe with a red man?
Yes, I did, Ben. I remember once I was after this renegade Apache, Grey Wolf. Strangely enough, revenge was also his primary motivation. A bounty was put on Grey Wolf's head, and that's how I came to hunt him in the mountains. Mountains so high they tickled the nether regions of heaven. Grey Wolf was a Chiricahua Apache medicine man who had led a war party in revenge for a massacre against his people. The U.S. Army had attacked his tribe during his daughter's sacred sunrise ceremony, and the slaughter was unspeakable. I understood his anger, as there's nothing more traumatic than seeing those you love die in a cruel and painful death. Right from the beginning, I couldn't shake the feeling that Grey Wolf was watching my every move. He led a band of young Apache warriors who wanted retribution and were more than willing to die for him. They saw me before I saw them.
Eu nem tava olhando pra eles, nem fiquei alerta, só fui pego de surpresa.
My mind that maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But now that the shooting had started, there was no backing down.
Tava tão bom, recarregando automático.
It was rugged country, the winter home of the Chiricahuas, and that's why they had retreated there. I admit to having some regrets about going after them the way I did. But then again, I got a lot of those.
Susto! Susto da porra, bicho. Meu Deus do céu. Eu não acertei aquela bala.
But I did find the entrance to their hideout. A deep crevice that led to a deeper cave.
Don't tell me you went in there.
Yeah, but it's not out of bravery so much as pure, angry cussedness.
Fui pego de surpresa aqui.
See, back then, I had a stubborn streak a mile wide, and I wasn't about to back down.
So it was like pitch black in there?
Actually, it was pretty well lit, as they had torches on the walls.
How big was his cave?
Big as hell, Ben. Chiricahua had hid out there during the Indian Wars. They thought it was haunted with the ghosts of those murdered by the horse soldiers.
The cave was haunted with dead Indian ghosts?
To be honest, I was more concerned with the
propósito.
live ones than the dead
Eu
ones.
quero acertar esse negócio aí. Ah, era só isso. Mano, cu, rapaz. Jesus Cristo, esse jogo tem dessas, né? Ficar assustando. Tomar no cu, rapaz. Tá tudo bem aí, meu bom? É, pois é.
How come you know so much about engines?
A few years back, I was married to two Mescalero women.
At the same time?
Yeah, they were sisters. Polygyny is traditional among the Mescalero.
So what happened?
Oh, I had to get out of there. Those girls never shut up. Both of them nagging at me all the time. Drove me half crazy. Haven't seen them since.
No, I mean, what happened with Grey Wolf?
Oh, well, I pursued him into the Cave of Death. I came upon this flooded grotto, and that's when I saw him. He came to me unarmed and unafraid. His voice echoed in the shadows. And I sensed he meant me no harm.
Nossa, mais uma voz
carry great
bela,
darkness
que
in your
louco.
heart, and if you do not release it,
It will claim your soul.
The sound of his voice put some kind of ancient Indian spell on me. As his story unfolded in my mind,
You will come to this place again and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything that you are. The soul would have no rainbow if the eye had no tears.
he said I was a great warrior, a coyote man, unequaled by any other pale-faced warrior, or something like that.
Oi! Que foi? Oxi, isso é pra eu ir lá fora, bicho. Vou botar aqui o fone.
The snakes will bite shadows of your past until a venom poisons your heart, and an echo of the song of the dead summons the spirits deep from within the mountains.
I didn't quite get what he was saying, but there was definitely snakes. And indeed, his warriors surrounded me and attacked me like hungry wolverines. They couldn't stop me, though, and Grey Wolf wasn't in the mood for idle talk. I swear I couldn't see any way out of this trap. But suddenly, one just appeared. Kind of like a miracle.
Ah, velho do cão mentiroso. Ah, porra.
I felt like I would be lost in that damn cave forever. Finally, I found myself back outside, perched on the edge of a precipice, overlooking a thundering whitewater river. To get where I was going required several leaps of faith, but no way in hell I was turning back. I chased after him, determined to make him explain the meaning of all that mumbo-jumbo.
Mumbo-jumbo is right. Are you making this all up as you go?
A few details may be fuzzy, brother, but I am relating exactly what happened to me. There were dozens of Apache warriors aiming at me from on high. Well, maybe not dozens, but there was a lot of them.
At least 3 or 4.
Well, more than that, little lady. I had a steep climb up creek ahead of me and scrambled up those rocks like a mountain goat. I was determined to locate Grey Wolf and find out exactly what the hell he was trying to tell me. And wouldn't you know it, that crafty son of a bitch led me right into a trap.
What kind of trap?
Well, son, there had to be at least 100 Apaches surrounded.
Propósito de novo, viu? Só pra fazer a sequência. Bora lá.
Well, son, there had to be at least 100 Apaches surrounded.
Y é triângulo. Certo.
Well, son, there had to be at least 100 Apaches surrounded.
100?
God be my witness.
Oh, come on. Who you kidding?
Hey, I believe you. Come on, tell us how it ended.
All right, but I'm not gonna drag this out.
A pessoa não acreditando no velho, o outro.
You were
Não, termina essa
surrounded
história
by
aí.
100
Dando corda pro
Apache
mentiroso.
warriors.
Well, I didn't take the time to count them exactly, but there were a lot of them.
Ai! Susto.
And in the end, a path appeared before me that I had not seen before. I followed it as I desperately needed to find out what Grey Wolf was trying to tell me. But it was like that son of a bitch disappeared into thin air. Never did find him. And never did collect my goddamn bounty. Thank you, darling. It's interesting how the truth can sometimes seem, might malleable, depending upon your point of view.
Like how those dime novels make you out to be something you're not?
Jack, don't be starting trouble.
No, he's right. They do tend to exaggerate.
Did they exaggerate your part in taking down the Daltons?
Well, I was there in the flesh, boy, so I saw what happened firsthand.
Esse velho tava em todo canto.
Those Daltons
Bem,
were lawmen
felizmente.
once, before they all went bad, robbing banks and trains clear across the territory. Until Coffeeville, of course. I was one of the citizens who took up arms that day.
Fighting on the side of the riot?
I did my best, sir. We all did. It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob 2 banks at the same time. 2 banks on the same damn street.
Cadê outra pistola? Era melhor. Oxe, bugou aqui. Cadê outra pistola? Ah, eu queria outra. Pistola aqui é uma merda. Simbora, né?
Story was Bob Dalton's girl was always riding him about how he had no ambition. Well, you're nobody next to Jesse James, she'd say. Finally, the bastard took his brothers to Coffeyville just to shut her up.
Right. It's always the woman's fault.
Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off. Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property. Their first mistake was pulling a job in their own damn hometown. The boys grew up in Coffeyville, so everybody knew them. The bank teller tricked them, telling them the time lock on the safe wouldn't open till 9:30. Well, that gave the locals enough time to prepare an ambush for those sons of bitches.
Holes in 'em!
Pô, agora sim vale a pena ficar assim.
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently. First of all, it was high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months. Now they finally had them dead to rights. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. This man had no intention of letting the Daltons slip away. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. We just gotta wait the son of bitches out.
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns. So he went in there alone to confront those criminals. One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That rifle's mine.
But he paid him no mind. He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank. Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting. From above. Fortunately, a water tower was right there. A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did. It was brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
Ah, são meus amigos ali. Tá, e agora? Nossa, convenientemente, né?
We've got company.
Heroic men like him, who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free. Like Jim Bowie and Davy Crockett, who died defending the Alamo.
Is that Silas Greaves? Son of a bitch!
blam, blam! He came away victorious, taking down those thieving Daltons. His name? Silas Greaves. And when the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened.
De novo, porra.
It was early evening, not high noon. I was late to the party and Coffeyville was already up in arms. The Daltons blew up a safe and were all set to hightail it out of there. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies. I had been tracking those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something reckless. And finally, they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob 2 banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them. But they still had friends in Coffeyville. Those friends came after me like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail. They were coming at me from all directions. I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose them. The problem was, they knew the town better than I did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout entirely.
Did the Daltons hole up in somebody's house?
Ai,
No, it was
ai.
the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons. And they were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons. Which wasn't any surprise, because those two families have been feuding forever. And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths, pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. Well, bullets were flying every which way as all the old feuds in Kansas caught fire all at once. There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeyville that day. But that's just the way life is sometimes. Shit happens. Dalton boys knew I would never give up. Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least 2 of them to escape. The third brother stayed behind to plant me, just in case that trap of theirs didn't work.
Se eu só acertei isso aqui de primeira, porque isso aqui foi 100% sem querer, doido. Tá aí, porra.
It was Emmett, the youngest, and he decided to stand his ground and face me down. He was determined to protect his brothers. I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long life.
But Emmett Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeyville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him? But I have to admit, that boy had grit.
Que essa porra desse...
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down. And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand. They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell. It was tough to stay on a true course, so we kept an eye out for landmarks. It was autumn, maple trees were in full color, red as blood. The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody. Except for some son bitches ahead of me wanting to do me harm.
Ah, achei que ia reiniciar o bagulho. Tem todas as armas que isso aí funciona.
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends. The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause. Point being, I was under serious attack. Reinforcements was nowhere to be seen. Luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view. But just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running for the bushes. Of course, I followed them. But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was. Steve? So I just started walking, and pretty soon Steve? Steve?
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
Indians? They were Indians?
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp?
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
No, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
So, where was I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet, but I did find a few of their cousins. You Kansans breed like rabbits. More Smiths or Heimhoffers or who knows what.
Bounty hunter! Stop!
Eu tô com sono. Esse daqui vai ser a saideira.
Bounty hunter! Stop! Bounty hunter! Stop!
But hell, what's more important than family? I bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
Desviei pro lado errado.
I knew those Dalton boys were out there somewhere, standing together against anyone who would threaten them.
Final da fase, finalmente.
And that's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps?
Yes, it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheel?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board. It was then that a fusillade of bullets come raining down from on high, and those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found. But among those men that were shooting at me,
Eu botei do lado certo. Eu acho.
but among those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces. Somewhere up there, the Daltons were waiting on
Que
me.
diabo foi isso? Caralho, parece a fase do barco do Gun.
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
Deixa eu descer, porra.
Right about then, much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit. But it turned out that they had me.
I'm sending you to hell!
Caralho, traidor.
The Daltons had played me like a fiddle. Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Well, yeah, but I was in a
Did you
fight.
hear about that ship that's been launched next year? Largest one in the world.
You're
Well,
talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed good. I don't know if it'll even slow.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
oh God.
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Greaves?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. I was coughing up smoke and pretty damn pissed. I was done playing games with those boys. It was time to settle this once and for all.
Ai, ai, esses NPC que se esconde dá ódio, viu? Weren't about to come at me one at a time. They were in this together. Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
They got it wrong. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later, he moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day. And the tragic death of his two brothers. My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told. It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy." Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me, until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch.
Nada espetacular, roubo do trem. Ver se eu salvo.
I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains.
É, deu certo, então.
I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains.